Hi, thank you for buying a video tutorial on decorating a cake in fondant. We're going to play with vanilla cake and buttercream and ganache and fondant. And it's going to be, oh my God, amazing. I can't wait. What you'll need to cover a cake in fondant is first the cake. I know, obvious, right? But I've got a vanilla cake today. You can use any type of cake, whatever your favorite is. I've got a vanilla cake. And I've got these lined in baking paper because I always line them in baking paper. They come out of the tin, no worries, they're easier to handle. So I said, yeah, you can use any flavours, so chocolate, mud cake, caramel, whatever your favourite is. And I have got two sizes here, you'll see. So this is an 8-inch round for a start. And this is my one size, and then I add another half size. Now the reason I do that is when you're covering a cake in fondant, you want it to be a bit super special, a bit extra special. So you want it extra high. So a normal height covered in fondant, it looks a little bit flat in all honesty, but you add that extra height, you're going 4 inches high when you add a couple of layers of buttercream or ganache in there. So that's why I do that. And I always recommend if you're covering a cake in fondant, you're going for the 4 inches high. So you've got a 3-inch high cake, another inch, and you're adding 2 layers of anything, 2 layers of awesomeness to the middle. So we're going to cut this one in half, and in here we put another layer, but I'll show you that soon. So you've got the cake, and then you need a cake board. So these are the cake boards I've got today. I've got this one that I'm using, which is covered in fondant. You can learn about choosing cake boards and how to cover them in fondant from my video tutorial for angelfoods.net. This is a 12-inch round that I'm using with the 8-inch cake. So it's got that lip of 2 inches all the way around. And this cake board was one of the $2 ones from Dollars and Cents, so from a cheapie shop. So that's the cake board I've chosen for today, for the look I want for my cake. I've got another cake board, and this is an 8-inch round, and that's for the cake to sit on. So this is what I'm going to be layering it on and ganaching it with. So this is kind of the base, and then we pop it on top of this cake board and stick it down. So I use another cake board, 2 cake boards. And then I'm going to layer this cake with buttercream. So you can layer cakes with anything, and we'll talk more about this later while I'm layering. But today I've chosen buttercream with a vanilla cake. It's a really beautiful flavour combination. I've chosen pink because pink's awesome. You can't go wrong with pink. And to do the edges, I'm actually going to use a ganache today. You can use buttercream like you've got already using for the centre, for the layering, but I'm actually going to use a white ganache. So this is a white chocolate ganache, and it's beautiful. So to find out how to make these, the recipes and the ratios, etc., I have video tutorials on that. There's a chocolate ganache tutorial, and there's a buttercream tutorial at angelfoods.net. So if you want to check those out. Then what else you'll need to cover a cake in fondant is some icing sugar. And we're going to just use a little bit of that for dusting, dusting the bench when we're rolling the fondant out. And to dust the bench, I actually use a little sifter. Okay, you can just use your hands and sprinkle if you want. That's absolutely fine, but I've just got a little sifter for that. And then we're going to use some fondant. Okay, so fondant, I understand it's a little bit confusing, but I've done a whole video tutorial on what is fondant. So if you go again to my website, you can find that what is fondant tutorial. And today I'm using the Cake Art brand, and this is the orange one. Orange, hot orange. It's a gorgeous colour. And I wanted to show you can use this brand fondant. I did tell you it was a budget one, a little bit harder to use, but I'm going to show you can use it. So we're going to do that by rolling it out on the bench top. So I'm going to show you that very soon. The other couple of tools you'll need is a cutter. So this is for cutting the fondant once it's on the cake. So you need a little bit of a pizza cutter. You can use a knife if you want. I just happen to like this snazzy little thing. It's gorgeous. I've got a fondant smoother. It's from a cake decorating shop for about $20. So they're called fondant smoothers, they're plastic. You'll need a spatula of some description. So I've got 2 here. I've got a flat one and an angled one. These are, again, from cake decorating shops, about $10 to $15. I'm probably going to use the angled one today. I just wanted to show you both. And we've got a knife, and that's just for cutting this larger cake in half so we can layer him up. And then we'll just need a rolling pin as well. So, shall we get started in covering the cake in fondant? Yeah? All right, let's do it. Now we've got our fondant out. This is the hot orange fondant I was telling you about. It's the Cake Art brand, this one. It's 1 kilo log, and it comes in lots of colours. And I talk more about it in the What is Fondant video tutorials. There's another tutorial all about fondant and what it is and how to work with it. But I did say it's a budget brand, it's harder to work with. So I did want to show you that you can use it because I normally use a different brand. Okay, so now it's starting to get bigger. I'm going to start using a rolling pin. So that's why I had the icing sugar before. We're going to dust a bit on the bench, our workbench, and that's going to stop it sticking as well. So I'll make an area a little bit bigger. And I've got the sifter I was showing you onto the bench. So lots of cakers and cake decorators tell you different amounts of how much to put on the bench. Some say just a pinch, some put ½ a kilo on there. And it's completely up to you. I might leave it just a little bit closer so I can grab more if I need to. And you put that on top. So that's going to help it slide around now. You can see it's quite slippery. All right, that's all right if you get a little bit on the top because it'll come off later. All right, so I've got my rolling pin. This is a beautiful one just because it's silicone and it doesn't stick. So every roll you want to spin it around so it's not sticking to the bench. And I'm aiming for a circle shape because we have a circle cake. 10 points for whoever got that correct. Okay, so remember, keep moving it. You want to work with it quite quickly, and that's because when fondant is exposed to air, it starts drying out. And that means when you go to cover your cake, you're going to start cracking it, and it's like to get it over the edge, and it's going to leave a bit of a like an elephant skin, that's what they term it, where you've got cracking through it, where you're aiming for something quite smooth and beautiful. Okay, so did all the edges again, and pick it up, spin it around. I don't think I need any more icing sugar underneath, but at this stage, if it's still sticking, dust some more under there. You can still see it under there, so it's quite good. And then, thickness-wise, what you're aiming for depends on many things. One would be your experience in working with fondant. If you've not done it before, I'd aim for thicker, and that could be up to a centimetre you could almost go, which would be almost this stage in all honesty. It's a little bit easier to work with if it's thicker. If you've got more experience, go for thinner. So you could go ½ a centimetre. I'm just going to move it around again. Also, how thick you roll it has to do with the brand you're using. Because I'm using Cake Art, it's a budget brand, it's stickier, it's softer, it's grainier, it's harder to get thinner, it's more likely to tear. And you don't want it to tear on your cake because all that hard work, you kind of got a big tear in your cake and you have to, yeah, you can't really fix it, you can't fix it. So, if it's a Bakel's brand, for example, or Satin Ice, they can roll really quite thin. They really can. They can go to 1/4 centimetre, so just a couple of mils thick. But, and then it also depends on the temperature. If the temperature's got quite a lot of water in the air, you're going to want it thicker again. Whereas winter, you can go quite thin. All right, but I think I'm nearly there. So size-wise, obviously as well, you're aiming so it fits on your cake. It's got to cover the top and 2 sides, top 2 sides. So this is just about perfect. And I'm not going to go any thinner, and that's just because it's the budget brand and I don't want it to tear in front of you because that'd be embarrassing. I don't think it will. It feels very nice, and we've added the Tylo so it's firmer. So again, I've kept moving it around so it's not stuck to the bench. I know I'm going to be able to pick it up. So you want your cake beside, and the only way to get it on the cake is to lift it up. And I want to work quite quickly now so that it doesn't crack on me. So I just keep shuffling it around on my hands. I've got it in my hands. I know I can move it in one motion, aim for the top, and let it fall. All right. Now we're going to smooth the top first. So we're aiming to get the air bubbles out so we don't form any air bubbles underneath. And also we want it to get it on the sides quite quickly again so we don't get that elephant skin. So I give it a bit of a smooth to encourage any air out if there's any under there. And now we're going to get these sides done quite quickly. And again, it's just using this section of your hand because it's got a natural curve to it. And don't aim for all the way down. You just want to go about an inch down. Because you see all these folds and pleats, they're going to naturally want to form, like double up on itself, which is not what you want. You want it smooth, so we're going to encourage it. Because remember, it's plastic, we can encourage it into shapes that we want. So to get rid of these pleats, you've just got to keep fluffing the skirts, it's called. So you keep lifting it up, encouraging it down. Lifting it up, encouraging it down. Again, we're still not going right down to the bottom. I'm about 2 to 3 inches down. Fluffing the skirt, fluffing it again. We're nearly all the way down there. So 3 inches down we are. Again, fluffing the skirt. You just got to be patient with it. There's no other way. And also be careful with fingernails. If you've got fingernails, if you accidentally knock it like that, you're going to leave a fingernail mark, and there's no real way of getting rid of that. Okay, and because it's on baking paper and it's all slippery, you can actually use your hands a little bit to spin it. Okay, so we're down to the bottom now, so we're just getting rid of the last of these creases. And we're attaching it to the ganache, we're sticking it on or encouraging it to stick together and become as one. All right, and we've just got a little bit more over here. You can see the pleats, and if you'd smash that down, you'd have folds in it. So just encourage it open. Knocked it a little bit with my fingernail. And then you smooth around that bottom. Fantastic. Now it's not gluing to it 100% around this side. And that's because the ganache is a little bit firm, but what I can do is encourage it to join with my smoother. So we use the smoother for the top, got all the air bubbles out, and now we're going to do that for the side. So it's just an up-down action. And because all this is flat around here, you're not going to damage anything. So that pressure, that's nice and smooth, it's not going to damage the fondant or the cake. It's joining it all up. Fabulous. So the joint, I wanted the back so nobody can see it. So I aim for the front. And then I gently encourage it on for it to glue together. Perfect. Now it has stretched a little bit since moving it, so I'm just going to cut it so it joins together. Fabulous. And so the two ends stay together. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, a little bit of water. Fabulous. That was our video tutorial on decorating a cake in fondant. My name's Rebekah from angelfoods.net. On our website, we have video tutorials available, and you can learn things from buttercream, cupcake decorating, ganache, what is fondant, tiering a cake, jumbo cupcakes, cake pops, explosion cakes, parcel cakes, any style of decorating you can find at angelfoods.net. Please check it out. You can also find Angel Foods on Facebook. Please like us on Facebook. We have loads of competitions. Did you know that money can't buy happiness, but you can buy cupcakes? And it's kind of the same thing. Did you know money can't buy cupcakes, but it can buy happiness? No, wrong one. Money can't buy happiness. Okay, I'm cool. I'm sweet. Our website. Yay! That was better.